this proposed amendment to change the manner in which the leader of opposition is arrived at. We are running out of time, so let's submit very quickly and catch up with time.
Well, I had the benefit of reading the motion, which had been the notice actually to the motion. The rule requires that the motion will be accompanied by a draft bill, which we shall look at in detail. But to us, this is not new. I've been calling this nuisance value politics. That it is like an arrangement of busybody type of, because the way it is being moved, first it was containing a lot of falsehood, that is not the head of opposition, that they don't account. The money is appropriated to a vote, to a parliamentary commission vote. The office of opposition does not hold the money. Actually, for the accounting office of parliament, who is the clerk, even designates a director to ensure that he operationalizes the execution of the budget. So what the leader of opposition does, if we have planned activities which have been budgeted for and for which the budget has been approved, we normally write in respect of a budget line item. We write through the director raises a requisition and even referred to the speaker for clearance. The speaker can say no, even when the activity is budgeted, as actually it used to be. This is just part of the blackmail, like in the previous parliament. You know, first they kept on saying the leader of opposition has got this budget, but even the training of staff, travel of staff, of those staff within the office of opposition is on that money. And the part of the money pays the shadow cabinet. Part of the money it is the fuel. Actually, the bulk of the money is on the entourage of even on the staffing. But we're challenging them to come up with a particular amount of money and say this one goes to LOP like pocket change that you receive. So one of those arguments we're using about money to blackmail the office actually kills the deaf ear. That's the accountability. Even as we talk now, when you read Article 164.2, it clearly creates an obligation on everybody to account, including whoever touches public money. But actually, so there's no mischief the intended bill wants to cure. On the question of consultation, I think the mover had misconstrued the law. The law clearly says that the leader of opposition may consult other political parties and independents if he so wishes. But our parliament, as is, you know, that my brother Paula here, they have memorandums of most of the independent members of parliament. You saw them flocking their office chat on. I think you remember signing those MOUs with them. Others, actually, even others in the opposition are in the cabinet. You understand? So that's why the law says you may consult. And but I want to say that we consulted. Because when I bring out our shadow cabinet and then appointing, we consulted these members. And I think what needs to be discussed, what amounts to consultation.
All right. But these people now want a format of election. You, instead of consulting, allow all the others to send in candidates, not necessarily the political party in the opposition that has majority. Do you have a problem with that?
Of course, like, for instance, take an example of this parliament, where they have MOUs with the majority of the independents. Some of our colleagues are actually in the cabinet, so they want to come and determine who is the leader of opposition. That's what you are saying. It makes sense to you? Of course, all this is geared towards sending a message to us occupying public spaces. Because tomorrow you hear, they will say, we also want to remove the chief opposition whip, because I will not stop. Otherwise, I will not stop pointing at what is wrong, irrespective of the cost I will pay. You understand? The next time you hear that now, when Mwiru was on Spectrum and he talked about human rights situation in the country, the situation which is...
he has misbehaved.
My brother said it is good. Therefore, I should be removed from being the opposition chief. Replaced by a PRU person. You understand? I think it is a way of trying to create fear amongst, because like if you meet even NRM MPs, some, the colleagues, if you talk to them, they are firm in private. So no, we cannot go this far. You understand? But publicly, they would actually fear.
Yeah, last time there was that similar bill by
Honorable Lumu.
Honorable Lumu. The NRM delegation came to the committee at the time the consultation were taking place. They rejected the bill and said things should stay the way they are.
See, first, I think the person, the facilitator of the bill, who did not consult the Secretariat. And he realized that maybe she wanted to get limelight from looking as if she's doing everything. That's how they had to disown her and then disown the bill at a particular point in time. We are not moved by such machinations that whoever raise anything, they say we shall take away that office. We occupy public. Maybe for the record, I want to tell those who care to listen that in as long as we have mandate of the people, we occupy public spaces, we shall keep on talking. Whether the situation is termed as good or not so bad, or what, but first we shall continue doing why we are in those offices. And no amount of intimidation, no amount of threat. Because when I was taking oath, I held the Constitution. And I sought to uphold the Constitution. To me, it was not just about being sworn in as an MP. I meant that I stick to the oath I took. So, in as far as we are concerned, we're not giving a lot of attention to this.
All right. Let's go to Mr. Majela Gwayaka. Very quickly, your quick thoughts on this issue.
Let me just explain something which has been missed in this debate. We had a one-party state until we had a referendum. When we had a referendum which allowed multi-party system, it meant we have to have the ruling government, which leads in elections, and the opposing government. So the constitution was changed. If you read the constitution, you will see Article 82, capital A. So the capital A means it's an amendment, which introduced the leader of opposition. At the same time, in that very amendment, we had Article 108, capital A, which introduces the Prime Minister as leader of government business. So in Parliament, the leader of the opposing government is the leader of opposition. And the leader of government business is the Prime Minister. And that's why anything opposition is referred to the leader of opposition. Anything for government is referred to the Prime Minister. Now we have a situation where my former classmate,
Honorable Dennis
Namara wants to determine how government should be opposed. He wants to create a law that determines
who should lead those opposition.
How the other government, the constitution created the other government. Side. Yeah, but now the strange thing is the NRM has 70% MPs, and the 71 actually. The opposition has 29. But they are not even
percentage.
Sorry, it's less than 79, 29 because there is independents, who majority of whom are
NRM leading.
So NRM could potentially come to around 80%. But they're not contented with that. They still want to determine who opposes them. So you're having how they are opposed. So you're having a situation where someone wants to be the leader of government and the leader of opposition in the same government. Because I want to determine who is opposing me, and I want to determine how I'm going to run my business.
That's not what they're saying. They are saying they want that side to be democratic. Okay. All people who are on the side of opposition
so if I was to use
should participate in electing the leader of opposition.
If I'm to use the same logic, if the leader of government business is the Prime Minister, should the opposition determine who is the Prime Minister? And let's not confuse it with approval, because the
ruling
government sits somewhere and chooses who will lead government business in parliament and brings that person. So should the opposition also determine who should be the leader of government business, such that government can also determine who should be the leader of opposition? I think it's quite absurd, and I don't know even how we are coming to this. But the question is, we are so insecure that even with 80% MPs in the House, we still feel we should determine how someone is going to oppose us.
Egesa.
This is shenanigans by the PLU chaps. It's just a diversion. These fellows have failed to cling on to anything. Yeah, PLU is a rudderless, leaderless organization which has no sense of direction. They have no agenda. They don't seem to know what they are doing. They are just taking a country on a wild goose chase and funny shenanigans. Why am I saying so? 1 month ago, these fellows were busy telling us that they have an operation called Maliza Ufisadi. How many people have been taken in and convicted over, prosecuted actually, not even convicted, over this operation Maliza Ufisadi? How many corrupt government officials have they exposed in the last 1 month? So they are jumping onto something. You know, there is that meme which is common on social media, where they show you there are some fellows who seem to be working hard, but they are doing nothing. A factory worker who stands outside at the entrance, he sees somebody carrying a box, runs after them to pretend as if they are going to carry it, to help them carry it. Then they don't even touch it. Then they see another one, they run back, they go to that one. So they are busybodies. So PLU is a bunch of busybodies nowadays who don't seem to have any particular agenda. Their agenda seems to be following, amplifying, and doing what? They follow the tweets of their chairman or patron, I don't even know, because it keeps changing. One day is a patron, the other day
national chairperson.
Is a chairperson. So they respond to the whims of their chairperson. The tweets of the chairperson seem to be the agenda of the PLU. So today he says one thing, and then the guys say we are going to implement. It is quite telling that in an organization which has a central committee that has lawyers like the Speaker of Parliament, Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Edwin Karugire, Chirewa Chiwanuka, former Attorney General, Senior Counsel, that when it comes to an issue of law, yeah, they are not talking, they are quiet, but you have somebody who has not seen the four walls of a university classroom purporting to be the operation commander. Commander is the one who is saying is the operation commander. Then for Dennis Namara, he's a very interesting character. Dennis Namara was part of the NRM Poor Youth, isn't it? Which was an organization behind the ambitions of the Right Honorable Mbabazi. What was the outcome of their activity? The outcome of their activity was that NRM backtracked on democratic practice in their party. They removed election of secretariat officials at that time. Now, isn't it intriguing that the same Dennis Namara shows up purporting to be promoting democracy in the opposition when he is actually one of the people that resulted in erosion of democracy within the NRM party? This is a fool's errand. Yeah.
All right.
So I can tell you, the PLU has no agenda. They are rudderless. They need to sit back and say, as it is right now, I want to state it right here. The fellows that are surrounding the chairman of PLU cannot make him president. They are just taking him round.
All right.
They are not being honest. They have kept him in an echo chamber. They are not telling him the truth. He only listens to his voices. They are just sycophants. They should face the man and tell him, this is not how to become president. If he wants to become president, he must follow the principles of politics. Politics has universal accepted principles that if you want to go to a position of power, you must go in a direction that helps you to win social goodwill and sign a social contract with the population. You cannot do the reverse and expect to take power. Thank you.
All right, let's get from Major Awichpola very quickly because we are running out of time. This proposal comes from NRM members and, of course, they are leaning with the PLU group. But what's your take on it?
My take on it is that, first of all, a law is not hard and frozen. A law is dynamic and it is living, and therefore subject to amendment, just like even the Constitution. and therefore this is not strange. But I just hope that whatever member of parliament, whether NRM or what is thinking at this stage, will follow the due process. For example, many people think that movement caucus is a rubber stamp, but it's not. I sit in movement caucus because NRM parliamentary movement caucus. I sit there because the NRM parliamentary caucus is an institution of the party, just like Women League or Youth League or anything of NRM. So when it sits, directors sit. I know for a fact that even in the case of coffee bill, when it came, it is not what the caucus agreed. It totally changed it. I know for a fact that even the latest bill was which one? The sovereignty. That is not what it was when it went to the movement caucus. So I hope it will follow that and it will be discussed. But the law is subject to change.
All right.
Now, on the question of my colleague saying that use the knowledge of the Prime Minister, Council, you will remind me, isn't Prime Minister approved by the whole House?
Yes.
Prime Minister.
Prime Minister and the Vice President.
Yes.
Prime Minister and the Prime.
So if you risk that line of argument that you have your Prime Minister, we have our leader of opposition, then the other argument would be, but even our Prime Minister is approved by the whole House.
So the ministers
why
are
not?
approved by the whole House. So should the
the
opposition select
I'm just
ministers?
stopping at your example.
No,
I'm saying your
because
example
we are
is risky.
confusing
It's a risky
approval.
example.
We are confusing approval with election or determining who it is. The whole House is given
Actually,
a name
it's
to approve.
It's a question
The
of
whole
diction,
House
but
does
they're saying
not
determining.
participate in who the Prime Minister should be.
Anyway, I listened to you. I thought you'd also listen to me.
I'm afraid we have to bring this discussion to an end.
Yes, so what I'm saying is that the law is not hard and frozen, but it should follow the legal and the constitutional procedures, and therefore we wait to hear the position
All right.
of the parliament.
All right.